Welcome back to the Republican Party of Texas Convention 2026. We're in Houston, Texas, with the chairman of the Young Republicans of Texas, Issac Laster. So, Issac, thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Is this YRT's first convention, second convention? Have y'all been here before?
Yeah, YRT has participated in this convention for the last 3 times.
You just feel so fresh and new and young and hip and cool and fun, all the things. Tell me a little bit about what is different for y'all, though, about this convention than ones in the past.
Yeah, well, because YRT is a newer YR organization, now we're really starting to focus on the resolutions that we are bringing from our own YRT convention that we've had separately.
Right.
And we want to bring those as like platform positions.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about, you also had a huge event. How did that go last night? I wasn't able to make it, unfortunately, but so your presence, I guess what I'm getting at is your presence is growing year after year, convention after convention. You guys are certainly becoming more involved in stuff all across the state of Texas. Tell me a little bit about that and just the momentum of everything going on here in Houston.
No, absolutely. So last night's event, it was really a who's who. We were thrilled to have Ken Paxton, Mays Middleton, Beau French, Brandon Herrera, Jace Yarborough, and Noah Wall was another speaker that we had. But it was fantastic. The clubs are growing all around the state. It's just, it's very exciting to see.
Yeah. So you mentioned y'all's convention, your convention, your state convention for YRT. We were really proud to partner with you guys. And
yes, thank you for being there.
And so I came and I was there, and it was really an encouragement to us. What are the things that y'all worked on there that y'all have brought to this convention and are hoping to accomplish in the platform?
Yeah, there was 2 items. One was a ban on non-citizen CDL truck driver licensing. That was kind of a home run for us. It's about protecting American jobs as well as protecting American lives on the road.
Yeah.
And then the second one was a repeal of the Hart-Celler Act, which would allow, if we were to repeal that, we would allow for hard caps and quotas as far as country of origin when it comes to immigration. That way you can say, hey, there's particular countries that by and large don't share American values. We could put a hard cap on the number of people that we want to have immigrate from that country or not. So we want to give the state government as well as the federal government more teeth to actually enforce immigration policy that puts Americans and Texans first.
Yeah, talk to me about I feel like for the first time, people are acknowledging that maybe some of the policies from the last decade, 2, 3 even, the consequences that it's had on America's young people and younger generations who are now coming into adulthood, graduating college, hitting the real world. Tell me about that. Why is this something that's coming to our attention now, to the general public, if you would?
Yeah, I mean, I would say this, the rate at which immigration has increased has kind of been exponential. And Gen Z especially, I think, feels that pressure, both in the job market as well as like social dislocation. Yeah. Their own communities just feel, strange and unfamiliar to them. And also they are competing for university spots or careers with H-1B or OPT immigrants who are on those programs. So it's been a confluence of factors, but really people are just finding that they're getting out of school in debt, and now they're competing with the world's population for the careers that they went to university for.
Tell me about what you would tell other young people. Y'all, I think, have been labeled, and maybe you have lived into the stereotype a bit of non-voters. That young people don't vote. And so what would you tell people who are maybe for the first time kind of realizing that they really ought to get involved, and how would you encourage them? And what would you tell them their next steps are?
Yeah. I encourage people to vote, certainly. I will say this, though. I think maybe where young people get a reputation for being non-voters is that increasingly young people are demanding certain things for their vote.
Yeah.
I think there's a long time been a kind of a party line that like, hey, vote red no matter what. And I want to see the Republicans win as well, right? It's why we run a young Republican organization. But if we are not being given the kind of policy that we want that's going to benefit us, it's going to benefit young people, then, you got to earn our vote.
That's
so
right.
whether that's opposition to the H-1B program or maybe some of the fiscal policy with property taxes that also benefit young people, we want to see our concerns addressed. So we're willing to withhold our support until we are given what we want. That's politics 101.
You and I have talked about this a little bit in the past, but there are conversations about dealing with the affordability issues facing every American that sometimes leave out younger generations. Why do you think that is, number one? And number two, is that a sustainable path for our country to follow?
Why do I think that conversation is leaving out younger people?
Yeah, why are young people often left out of plans to address the affordability problems? Like I would insinuate, for example, Issac, right, that a lot of times the leaving out of young people actually is a shifting of the burden, like in the property tax example.
Sure.
Okay. With the property tax example, the idea of giving additional carve-outs to older generations is actually something that is going to happen at the expense of younger generations.
Yeah.
You're shifting the burden from one to the other.
Yep.
So why is it that that's something that is so prevalent among our political conversations in the Capitol and otherwise? Why is it that young people are often left out of the discussion?
That's a great question. I think part of it is that the older generation has been more vocal in advocating for some of these things.
Sure.
I think they are more keenly aware of how the property tax situation is affecting them.
Okay.
Right? I think the party and the state feels the pressure to answer to those voters. I don't think that young people have let their voice be heard in the same way that the older folks have. So I think that kind of they can just get away with it. If you're not asking or demanding for something to be done that benefits young people, I think they don't feel the necessity to listen to you. So that's why I kind of want to ask you, like, how should we be adjusting our messaging as young people to demand something that would benefit them as far as property taxes are concerned?
I think number one is just organization, right? Like your organization getting involved, building infrastructure, and giving people access to venues like the ones that we have at our disposal here. I served on the Legislative Priorities Committee. I was probably one of, if not the youngest person on that committee. I think there were some younger people than I on platform that I interacted with, but not very many.
Yep.
And so being involved as a part of this process as Republicans is certainly one thing. Number two, I would say is, maybe you can't get a role as a committee member or whatever, but the very minimum, you can get here a day early or the day you get here and testify before one of these committees and have your voice be heard. On Ledge Priorities, for example, we probably heard from a dozen people under the age of 40, maybe 24 of 200,
Sure.
right? Okay, so 24 of 200 people were, supposed to speak for half of the population. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so I think those are kind of the first two initial steps. And as we've discussed, one of the great things that people could do to make that first step is to find an organization like yours. So why don't you go ahead, Issac, and tell us a little bit about YRT, what you guys are working on, how people can get involved, where do they sign up or start a club, that kind of stuff. Tell us about all of that.
Certainly. Yeah, if you go to yrtx.gop, you will find all of our social media stuff there. You can find our Instagram, Twitter, connect with our different clubs, give us your email. We'll connect you to a club in your area, and you can get involved that way. We have our YRT Convention. It's going to be sometime in October this year.
Yeah.
We would love for people to come and participate in that. One of the things that we
and
do
sponsor
there,
like Texas Taxpayers has done. TFR has been a sponsor.
Yes, indeed.
You guys always need more help bringing attention to convention. It's a big deal. It's very expensive. We get it.
Yes. Well,
You could shamelessly plug that too. That's
we appreciate your support, and we do accept donations and sponsorships 100%. But one of the core functions of our YRT convention is the passing of resolutions.
Yeah.
And that's something where if you're a young person and you've got something to say about housing or property tax or any other number of issues, please come and participate, join a club, and you can craft and submit resolutions that we will then take to the RPT convention the next time around, and we will try to put these things into action and get them on the party platform or testify, like you mentioned.
That's great. Anything, parting comments or things for delegates here at convention or for the folks at home watching from there?
No, like I said, yrtx.gop. Go follow us. We appreciate your support, and thank you for your support as well.
Oh, of course.
Grateful for it.
So this has been Issac Laster. He's the chairman of Young Republicans of Texas. We're here in Houston at the 2026 Republican Party of Texas platform, and we'll have more content for you from right here coming up soon.